Cops of Reddit, what is the most stupid criminal you have ever met? My mom's cousin was a bank robber. The time he got caught, he went into a bank, scoped the place out, left to go back to his bike. This MF robbed banks on a fucking bike. He put the mask on, robbed the bank. Police see the tape, see that bank robber was wearing same exact clothes as guy who left less than a minute before, and that was that. Edit, by bike I mean bicycle. I knew a guy who got busted selling weed. He went to his hearing at the court and went through the metal detector with an Altoid tin full of ecstasy pills in his pocket. It set off the metal detector. Sheriff's deputies searched him, found the pills, and arrested him on the spot. Took a vehicle burglary report where the victim found a driver's license sitting on her driver's seat that the suspect must have left behind. Seems damning, but if he had any criminal smarts he would just say his license was stolen and the thief must have dropped it while breaking into this new victim's vehicle. Without any other evidence, the case would have gone nowhere. The next day I take a report at a church that was a couple of blocks away from the vehicle burglary. This guy stole the video cameras from the building. He must have thought the footage came with the camera, because when we checked the video, there was a high definition close-up of the suspect's face as he removed the camera. Good evidence, sure, but I still didn't know who the guy was until I looked at the license I collected the day prior and saw it was the same exact guy. Can't go into too much detail, but kid, 14, shot another kid, 15, in the leg after a fight in their apartment complex. The victim is able to describe the gun the shooter used in detail. We get shooter's name from another kid who knows him from school. My partner looks up his Instagram, and would you believe it, that he is posing with the gun described to us exactly. Social media is a treasure trove of one-ape gangsters incriminating themselves. Edit, fixed my drunk ass words. My dad is a cop, and I remember that he called me one night and said that he wanted to tell me how glad he was that I'm not as stupid as the guy he arrested that night. An idiot high schooler was caught stealing alcohol after his fake ID was rejected. His fake ID said he was born in 2001, 3 years younger than he actually was. Poor guy couldn't work out why his ID didn't work. My dad recommended that he pay better attention in math class. From the local newspaper, 2 young men in a pickup truck on a back road stopped a courting Amish couple in a buggy and told the couple to give them all of their money. Spoiler, the Amish don't generally have money. They do have good memories, though, and told the cops the license plate number. The inept criminals were locals too, and should have known better than to try and rob the Amish. Not a cop, but worked at a 7-Eleven in a rough part of Chicago. Had 2 guys come in and ask for 2 bottles of Grey Goose. I asked for their IDs, they handed them over, and I grabbed the 2 bottles from behind the counter to ring them up. They proceeded to grab the bottles and book it out of there, leaving their IDs on the counter. I called the police. They came in asking for a description of the thieves and I handed them the IDs. Cops were in disbelief at the stupidity, left and went to the address on one of the IDs that was about 2 blocks away. About 15 minutes later they walked in with the 2 guys and bottles of Grey Goose. Poor guys didn't even have a chance to open them. I confirmed it was them, didn't press charges, took the bottles of Grey Goose back, and went on with my overpass shift. Went to a job of 2 males attempting to break into a car. Job description said they had been at it for at least an hour. Got there and the car was this. They had apparently locked themselves out. Checks confirmed it did belong to one of the person's mum. On their person was stolen mail and heaps of phones and new stuff in boxes in the car, so they got arrested for theft anyway. Ended up that the driver's door they had been trying to break into was the only locked door out of the 4. Was unlocked everywhere else the whole time they were there. Edit, mail turned out to be junk mail and a wedding invitation. Ex-Leo here. So I get a call a couple years ago to a lady who says she is being threatened. I respond to a very rural area and she shows me her cell phone and it is a chainmail text from an unknown number. The message showed a picture of a girl with a gag in her mouth and she is looking at the camera and holding a sign with both hands that said help. The text of the message stated she was in Amsterdam and she didn't forward the text to 10 people and look what happened to her. I explained to the lady that it was a hoax and explained what a chainmail message was. She refused to believe me and became argumentative. When I offered to contact Interpol for her, she did not know what that was. That wasn't good enough, and just kept saying that girl needed help. I asked her if she knew the girl, and she said no, and she believed the girl tried to send her the message using any made up numbers she could instead of contacting anybody she knew. My reasoning was once again shot down, and she said again that the girl needed her help. I remember driving away, and the lady screaming at me that I needed to help that girl. I responded with a single no over my P-pointer as I quickly sped away. Both of those women were never heard from again. Now forward to 10 people.